Hello, number ones. Welcome back to my channel. This is the Metatron speaking. And don't you have a feeling that things are getting worse with each passing day? Well, today we're talking about the UK. Again, check this out.
Religion you're allowed to do anywhere.
No, miss.
Religion you're allowed to do anywhere.
No, miss. You're not
You
allowed
are.
to sing church
You are.
songs outside of church grounds, by the way.
You're not allowed to sing church songs outside
Outside
of...
of church or church songs or church
You're not allowed
ground.
to-
That's fine. That's
You're not
fine.
allowed. She just said you're not allowed to sing church songs outside of church.
Our church outside of church grounds, unless you have unless
That's
you've
a load
been
of rubbish.
authorized by the
You're
church to
allowed.
do this kind of song.
It's not saying anything anymore. Thank
Are you saying that you don't care about the Human Rights Act? You're lost?
Oh my gosh. Unbelievable.
Religion you're allowed...
Disgraceful. Disgraceful. So let me get this straight. A police officer who can't even speak English, she can't even form her own sentences, can't even form her own freaking sentences. A police officer in the UK just told a British citizen and a Christian that they are not allowed to sing church songs outside of church unless you are authorized by what? I think she said by the church, but what does that mean? Before we dive into this, also this at the very end. Also, this tells you all you need to know. The fact that extremely unprofessional behavior. I hope that this UK police officer gets put on leave because of this. Apart from the fact we're going to double check these laws for a second because we need to make sure, I need to know if there is a law about this. But in general, look at this. What's this? So you're doing blah to a Christian? So this is anti-Christian sentiment. 100%. You know this is what it is. Gross. Disgusting. Look, here she's like, oh goodness gracious, people, can you please deactivate ghosting? Please? But anyways, you can see she's kind of laughing here. Look at the grin. She's so happy that she could tell this Christian that they're not allowed in England to sing praises to Christ and that they can't do it. I imagine you can't preach at this point either in the streets, right? They do arrest preachers, don't they? But look, she's so happy about it, and then she just couldn't stop herself and went into the blah, the actual, with her tongue out. Unbelievable. What a clown. What a clown. Thing is, though, what about this then? Why are Muslims allowed to kneel on the floor anywhere? This is outside a mosque, right? Because as far as I know, unless mosques have a skybox, like, Unreal Engine style, placed inside the mosque, unless that's the case, and that's the Big Bang, by the way. Look at this. So they're allowed to do this everywhere they want, on the streets. In fact, I've seen them do it on the roads sometimes, like literally, or blocking traffic. This is fine, apparently, for this police officer and in general the UK government. I'm not going to say the people because, guys, I feel for you. I really mean it. But look, police officer here doesn't have a problem. They're blocking the street. In fact, I am pretty sure that if you say anything about this, or even if you walk around with a Christian Bible and you decide, hey, you know what? They're going to do this here. I'm going to pray to Jesus here in this little corner. You'll get arrested for it. 100%. 100%. Mark my words. Anyways, let's see if we can figure something. Let's see if we can learn more about this police officer. Moment, volunteer police officer tells Christian singer on Oxford Street that she is not allowed to perform church songs outside of church grounds before walking off and sticking her tongue out to the camera. Police officer told a Christian singer that she was not allowed to sing. Okay. Gospel singer Harmony London 20 regularly performs worship music to passing shoppers on Oxford Street and has more than 30,000 subscribers on YouTube. But she was stopped by Metropolitan Police Special Constable and told, no miss, you're not allowed to sing church songs outside of church grounds, by the way. It is not entirely clear whether the officer was accusing Harmony of breaking the law in this area, which is a council-regulated zone for busking and street entertainment. There are no laws against singing on pavements, and Harmony said the incident breached Article 9 of the Human Rights Act, which protects freedom of religion. Yeah, and here's the thing, before we continue with this. It really shows that right now, at least when it comes to authorities, they do play favorites. They absolutely do. Because I can tell you, I can guarantee that there is no single police officer who's going to go to a Muslim if they decide to sing whatever the heck they sing in the mosques. I don't even know. If they even do they sing? I don't know if they sing. Anyways, if they do, and they do it in street, then they say it's cultural enrichment. That's the reality of it. It's, once again, rules for thee, not for me. As onlookers watched and filmed outside the John Lewis store, Harmony protested her innocence to the officer, saying, you are able to sing church songs, but the officer continued to insist that Harmony could not sing outside of church grounds unless you have been authorized by the church to do these kind of songs. What on earth? Please make this face, this shot should go viral. This police officer with her anti-Christian and at this point anti-Western sentiment should absolutely be ashamed of herself. Unpaid volunteer officer doesn't like gospel song. So basically this is someone who has decided to do this for free just as a way to mistreat Christians. That's what it is. A file photograph of Harmony London performing on Oxford Street. She's black. Holy moly, this gives it a completely different level now. Now I see why they're issuing an apology. I mean, again, not that it matters to me, but to them and their kind of stuff. Ooh, this is terrible. So it's just interesting because it actually gives us a deeper analysis of their psychology and their ideology, because I often wondered, whenever you try to think about this idea of, we need to, if Islamophobia is bigotry, yet what happens if you're a feminist? Because feminists will have a thing or two to say when it comes to Islam and its teachings. What do you do? Because in theory they're both very strongly represented in the left wing and protected, so how do you choose which one trumps which one? And I'm using the word Trump on purpose, pun intended. What about this though? What is it? Is the fact that you are black and a minority the most important thing, so you should be supported no matter? Or is the fact that she's a black Christian, so now she's a Christian, is she an oppressed or is she an oppressor? What happens when you mixed oppressor and oppressed? Well, in this case, it seems like we have an answer. They hate Christianity so much that it overrides any other oppressed status that you had. Does it surprise you? Does it surprise you? Harmony said, that's a load of rubbish, you're allowed, but the officer then walked away, and another said, she's not saying anything anymore, thank you for your time. The singer said, are you saying that you don't care about Human Rights Act? She then accused the officer of laughing while she was walking away. Absolutely she was, we saw that. The officer then stuck her tongue out. Unbelievable, guys, unbelievable. And again, the reason is because to the officer, she's an oppressor. And therefore, that's a layer of justification for all forms of improper behavior. That's your analysis for the day. Norman Brennan, a former officer and anti-crime campaigner, also tweeted, open quotes, folks, this is not a good look. Some of us are trying hard to help policing get back public lost support, respect and confidence, and this does not help, close quotes. Absolutely. And obviously, this and the people getting arrested because of their tweets. Harmony's clip of the confrontation has so far attracted more than 5,000 likes and 1,500 comments. Mail Online, what the heck? Unresponsive, I don't care. Online has contacted the singer for a comment. Yeah, I'm actually surprised of how respectful the singer was, the content creator in this case was, considering the way she was treated. UK police apologized to Christian singer who was told you're not allowed to sing church songs. Let's see. The Met Police have issued an apology to a Christian singer in the UK who was ordered to stop singing church songs outside the church grounds. You don't need to issue an apology. I mean, you can if you want, but the best form of apologies is to let this person go and make it public. This is how you apologize. You apologize with actions and words if you want, as complementary to said actions, but you have to apologize with actions. And honestly, I'll be honest with you. I'm glad that they apologized to her. I really am. In fact, I think we should support her. Let's see if we can find. If I can find. I don't know if she's on TikTok. To be honest, she's on YouTube. I'll put a link in the description for you guys to go and support her. But I honestly think that the only reason why they did end up issuing an apology is because she's black. I'm just saying it. I'm just telling it how it is. This has nothing to do with justice. Harmony, but I'm glad that she did get the apology. Okay, she's 20, very young. The officer behavior was described as disgusting, appalling, and unprofessional exactly by droves of Instagram users. It should have been described as this by the government, by the authorities, not Instagram users, with many saying the officer should be reported. Of course, keep doing what... It's a bully. This is not an officer, it's a bully. Keep doing what you're doing, keep singing your beautiful voice. Yeah, the officer was mistaken. The Metropolitan Police have admitted the officer was in the wrong, writing in a statement, the officer was mistaken in saying church songs cannot be sung outside of church grounds. Yeah, we are sorry for the offense caused and will take the learning forward. Fire the officer and make it public knowledge. That's how you do. If you're really sorry, that's what you do. However, they insisted that the dispute was over unlicensed busking rather than the type of music being for. Oh, come on. Gaslighters. Gaslighters. Then your apology means nothing. You're just gaslighting? No, it's because she was singing Christian songs. We know it. And you know that that's the case because she said it. She said it. It's freedom of religion. And the officer that went blah to that. That's how it is. The Met added, we are reviewing body-worn video of this interaction. It's more than 40 minutes long. Oh, yeah, 40 minutes long. I'm sure it's going to take so long. It's going to take you 3 years, right? At the heart of this is a specific by law related to busking. The officer knows she could have handled this differently and is speaking to her manager. Former Conservative minister is among those who have called for the officer to be struck off from the voluntary force immediately, adding, absolutely I agree, open quotes, she really has got the law completely wrong and she was obviously enjoying herself rather than too much trying to boss this woman around. Yeah, exactly. Well, okay, I hope that you get justice for yourself. Well, I hope that she gets the justice she deserves. She did nothing wrong. Harmony did nothing wrong. And with that, thank you for watching. If you appreciate my content so far and wish to help ensure my ability to continue to tell it how it is, regardless of any possible backlash, please support this channel on Patreon. Any support helps me and my team of academics keep the channel strong and gives us the means to fight back against the political rewriting of history. Stand with us, form the wall, defend the truth.